Relationship advice. We need it.
A YouTuber named ImAllexx has recently had an 82-page Google document dropped about him by a woman named Alice. This Google document has been shared on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, and contains a lot of serious information. Since the post of this Google document, 2 more Google documents have been dropped, at least at the time of recording this, regarding ImAllexx. In this video, I'm only going to be going over the Google documents, starting with Alice's document, as well as the clips that she had provided, and then we'll get into the other 2 documents. At this point in time, Alex has not made a response whatsoever. For a little bit of context prior to diving into this though, ImAllexx is a YouTuber who, at least as of right now, has over 2 million subscribers on his main YouTube channel. One big thing about Alex is that throughout plenty of his videos, he has advocated for victims of various situations. So naturally, these accusations against him hit a bit harder than it might hit somebody else.
But what happens when you take a little look deeper? Everything might not quite be what it seems.
Unfortunately, Alex has already had a reputation for acting malicious towards others though, even before this document was released. ImAllexx has labeled one of his former friends and fellow creators named Slazo as a creep after false accusations were made against Slazo by another person. Alex decided to take these accusations and perpetuate them further, which have definitely affected Slazo's career and public image. While it's common for YouTubers to make mistakes while covering stories here and there, this was a much different situation. Once these accusations were shown to be false, Alex's response to Slazo left many outrage. At first, Alex doubled down, and then when it came time to make a public quote-unquote apology, he didn't actually say the words "I'm sorry," at least not publicly. Many other creators have also pointed out that this was not an isolated incident. Alex supposedly spread more false accusations against others online. This was one of the reasons why so many are not taking these accusations against Alex too well right now. The other reason is that what we're about to go over is pretty horrific. In this Google document, video evidence was shown of Alex screaming at Alice on camera and saying terrible things to her.
But that's why I'm a professional and you're all not. I don't know, your boyfriend's a famous internet celebrity and doesn't trust these people. And you're talking to me, going, this is the thing, even though now, when it's too late, you admit that you did everything wrong. But when it actually matters, when you should lay down like a good dog, you don't do it.
This is pretty irrefutable, at least the videos anyway. I will say as a disclaimer though that yes, these are accusations since Alex has not yet responded. But I do want to make a note that Alex has said this before.
I still feel it's important to call people out when you believe that they have done something wrong, because it doesn't matter how much you enjoy somebody's content or how nice you may think they are. If somebody is not, I feel like there is value in telling them that, because that's what I'd expect of other people to do to me.
It starts with this Twitter post, which was made shortly after people began to speculate about Alex, since Alice had uploaded and then removed TikToks venting about an ex mistreating her, but didn't name him directly. Here's my statement on the situation I've been scared to speak out on. It's best it's made public how horrible this person with a platform is. I'd hate to see another woman go through this. Please read the statement before continuing. In the Google document, she provides several different files. We're going to go over the statement first, and we're going to dissect as much of it as I possibly can. I want to do this for anybody who has a better time listening than reading through a document. I know sometimes that could be tedious if you just want to know what's going on, but get overwhelmed with 82 pages. The only thing I'll say right off the bat though is there are a lot of screenshots provided in this Google document, and at times it's going to sound like it doesn't make any sense because it skips around a lot. There's some missing context that I think would make things a lot easier to understand if it was added, but at the very end of this document, Alice did mention potentially releasing more information if she feels like she has to. I do think that the lack of context in certain screenshots does make it a little hard to follow, but throughout this, I try my best to make it as easy to understand as possible. Let's dive into this 82-page document. Trigger warning: mentions of SA, depression, and assault. This is a sensitive subject for me, as I've struggled to figure out how to put it into words. I have been threatened by Alex not to come come out with anything at all and to keep quiet, or he will create a contradicting story to discredit my own, but I'm not scared anymore. No matter what he said in response to the statement, I know I've said my piece and can move on with my life. I've made this document as a compilation of my experiences whilst being with Alex and have put screenshots of the accounts under the corresponding paragraphs. This will be a long one as I want to start from the beginning so you can understand the full story and heavy burden this has been on me. We have known each other for years before we interacted, and seeing each other for a few months before anything was official. We started officially dating on March 17th, 2023, giving each other 100% of our attention, time, and effort with no arguments. After that, time passed, and small things became huge issues which were over Discord at first. Alex felt that because I'm home all day and work from home, that I would be able to call 24/7 and completely shut out any other social interactions I had with my friends. To avoid that, I invited him into my groups and stopped working as much. These small arguments worsened to the point where he would turn on his camera and start shouting at me on call. He's gone as far as to tell me to self-harm at this point after I told him about my history prior. This would be accompanied with multiple horrible messages calling me a whore, a and slimy. He would also tell me that I caused arguments as an exercise for me to leave him, saying, I don't know how I ended up with someone like you. And now we're getting into the first few screenshots. The screenshots start in mid-conversation, which, yes, I am aware that there is a possibility that some things could be left out. Again, we're going over everything that is currently publicly available. As time goes on, things could change. With that being said, it starts with now or no. I'm with everyone, but I can leave. Don't worry, I'll just go to bed. Okay. LOL, what a day. Guess everyone has got something better to do. Nobody wants me around. It's class. I love this. I love it. Wow, really? After asking for a break? Join. Go on it now. Join. Child. Join. Sending some devil horns and then another join. You can't give me 10 minutes to calm down and then talk? Am I a mind reader? You hung up on me before I could say anything. You effing R-word. You knew. Stop calling me Alex. How much that pissed me off? Cry? I don't care. I am. For why? Because I'm in a state. Okay, well forget it all then. I did all I could. No? You literally said, if this is the best you had to offer. So before I continue, I want to let you know that it seems like there might be a out of sync with a lot of these text messages because it seems like they're each texting multiple things all at once, but they're not going through chronologically. It's a little hard to follow, but I'm doing my best here. I don't know how I ended up with someone like you. Then I guess that's literally it then, considering where I am right now, but you can't do that. And I'm throwing fits. Idiot, talk. Yawn. You talk like an R word, so call me. You say everything wrong on text. I'll stop then, because you're effing stupid, so call me. Nope, I'm not. Yes, you clearly are. Bye. F you, weird effing idiot. You win. F you. Understand? I didn't call because you're insulting me. F you. Please don't be silly over this. I'm just scared of annoying you. Yeah, okay. It's all good. Another time. You sure? No, like once your work is done. Like when you aren't stressed out. I was fine with today. I'm nearly done and thought you could help with the HelloFresh stuff. But yeah, just do whatever. I said the other day I wanted you to ask me to come over, etc. And if you didn't want to today, let's not do it. Kind of the opposite of what I wanted, so let's leave it. I got stuff to do. I said I want to once your work is done. I asked if I can after. I'm going to go back to work now. ? Talk later. What the F? I literally asked you if I can after your work. Getting mixed signals here, just like, no? Well, I am. You can reread and see why. A screenshot is then sent. Can I come over when you're done all your work? If you don't want to do today, I'm not being silly. No. And just because you said that doesn't mean anything. I say I'm scared to annoy you while you're working? You didn't listen the other day, I guess, when I told you I wanted you to make me feel like I mattered a little more. Bro, she's just trying to make sure that when she comes over, she's not interrupting your work. To me, it sounds like she's trying to be considerate of your work schedule. So can I? LOL, literally the roundabout way of saying, can I not come over today, but putting it in my court. Please stop. She's literally asking you if she can come after you're done working. Can I come over when you aren't working so we don't repeat yesterday? It seems like his conversation continues. Please stop doing this to me. How about don't come over at all? I don't want to piss you off. What the actual F? That'd be easier, I think. I literally said I'm scared. Okay. Nah, this has pissed me off, making it my choice over something already arranged. Then trying to back me into a corner. You asked me to ask more. I just did, and that's a problem? Call me. Funny, man. I just said I understand you, and you said you hate me, and goodbye. Have a good day, man. Stop effing talking over me. You're unbearable to talk to. I can't cope with it. You got what you wanted. See ya. I didn't. I wanted reassurance. Got an argument instead. Shut up. Please F off. I'm annoying for saying I still want to see you. It seems like his conversation continued, so it would be please F off permanently. Then he says, oh my god, hut the F up. I'm pretty sure he meant shut, but that's what he said. I said to forget this all and let me see you after you said you hate me. I hate you genuinely. Stop. You set this up. Alex, what the F? No, you didn't. What the actual F? I didn't even want to go with you. What the F is wrong with you? F that. Why the F are you being horrible? Then I tried cheering you up. You said I'm annoying. Chill out. Literally F off. K, night. You annoying. I turned off my cam. Don't enjoy talking to you. What the F? Stop being horrible. Horrible? I'm being dead truthful. You can't stop insulting me. One good day, you go home. Truthful? Okay, fine. Ruin it. Goodbye. Good night, man. After screaming at me in calls and disregarding everything I have ever said, he would explain how it's always my fault and that I should apologize, that I should fix it and fight for him after he has made it worse by completely dehumanizing and degrading me. I would get breakup threats because I interacted with my followers' tweets, which I would then apologize for after he made it very clear he was upset but demands more from me. This would be followed by him continuing to call me a bitch and threatening I'm going to refollow everyone I unfollowed for you if you're going to be like that. Which, by the way, I found out later on he was still interacting with many people he had old relations with and found him stalking his ex with her old nudes in his phone. As you can probably tell, I'm trying not to interject too much because there's so much to read that if I add commentary on every single part of this, it's going to be twice as long and it's already going to be a long video. But this is something I have to mention. In my opinion, I think it's really messed up to be holding on to your ex's nudes if you're in a new relationship. But on top of that, I also find it really weird and inappropriate if you're holding on to an ex's nudes if they don't know about it or consent to it after you guys break up. I think that's weird, but again, that's just my opinion. And again, this is just going off what we have to read here. I don't know if the person whose nudes he allegedly held knew about it or not. I'm just going off of what I'm reading and piecing together assumptions. Back to more screenshots. Good. I'm done with your stupid ass. It's so effing weird that you pissed me off and now you're mad? That you will die for liking that tweet. No, I won't. That's not it. I don't care about that. I apologized for that. I'm going to refollow all of the people I unfollowed for you. If you're gonna be like that, then it can be like that. Okay, you keep calling me shit. I'm done. Go follow them. Bye. How do you not understand? I hate you, and how even now you're purposefully being so dense. Cause I know I'm right. You're just going to be difficult on purpose. Cause it's what you do. I don't know why you make everything hard. You literally just can't sit there and roll over on something so tiny. I did. I said I'm sorry. Wasn't that the goddess here? I'm going to link all of the horrible messages that have been sent to me. They consist of him calling me unlovable, whore, psycho, constantly calls me sick, telling me he doesn't want to be with me, breaks up with me, then takes it back. Then after all of these arguments, he apologizes and love bombs me for forgiveness. For context in regards to me, I have depression and he made it severely worse when he would insult me and make me feel like he doesn't care or love me. I found it hard to stay happy every day dating someone who said these things so easily to me, feeling no remorse or guilt. He just flew past the days like nothing ever happened. This was immensely draining on my side. I don't know if this is just a me thing, so I've been scared to talk about this because I'm worried I won't be easily understood. People will question why I even stayed, and believe me, I wish I could turn back time. But I believed his lies when he apologized to me, and I tried to believe he would stop going so far if I asked him to. I thought it was good enough for him to stop calling me a whore or tell me to die or threaten to leave me in every argument. I want to interject here again and say that it is a statistic that when people are in abusive relationships, it sometimes, actually oftentimes, takes people multiple attempts to finally get the courage to leave for good. So if everything that's being said is true, this would not be an uncommon situation. Back to more screenshots. It was intentional. I wanted this to happen. The little bit about gluten was genius. Good night. You're a freak because even though you know I called you to buy your effing correct food, you hung up on me. Talk about grateful. You got a weird way of showing it. I said thank you multiple times. But you can't get that through your thick skull, so why hang up on me? Wow. Would I mistake your shitty attitude for being shitty? You're being so mean for what? You have me like 2 seconds because you're a silly. I was sad. I'm going to sound sad. Talk about kicking someone while they're down. But you keep talking over me. Now you're finding out anything to be mad at. So you don't hear shit. Because you said it was my attitude. Alright, Alice. And this was before I hung up. If this is what you want, I'm mad at you. It's what you want. You're making it. I don't like you. I hate you. What the F? It seems like some portion of the conversation might have been cut off here. Look at you go. Giving me 50. Carry on insulting me. I don't care. I'm not stupid. I do care. Yes, you are, mate. You're so horrible. You're dumb as F. No call for you then. Too stupid to pick up. You deserve it. I'm done with you. I don't actually care. I don't deserve it. I genuinely think I've completely fallen out of love with you because you simply just don't try. You can't even see I've made progress while I'm in bad moods. I reassure you. I stop and say thank you. You are so horrible. Wow. I tried so hard. Was going to call and say something on call. You didn't, but you keep hanging up. Leave me alone. I'll get my dad to pick up my things. I think you got what you wanted. You got what you wanted. Woman, you are crazy. I want to point out, I really don't like the way at multiple points throughout this entire situation, he just calls her woman like he's insulting her with it. But that's just my opinion. You said to break up. You wanted it. I do. I don't want to be with you. You're too much work and you're stressing me out. I changed and tried my best. You hung up on me a day after this. When I say I changed, this was because Alex had a very big issue with me when I sounded sad. If I woke up upset after I explained to him that I'm depressed, I had to calmly approach him and watch my tone when I couldn't even get out of bed. I end up hanging up if he reacts badly and screams at me because I'm fed up with the abusive screaming and I'm tired. More screenshots. And you kept changing the goalposts for no reason. You were denying it. Ah, okay. Imagine I say I'm sad and I got this. F off, Alex. I literally conceded because it's effing pointless. But if it's not good enough, then F you and F off, weird girl. You could have said sorry straight away. OMG, I did? You didn't? You denied it a lot? As soon as I realized you were being a freak, you didn't? Hello? I said sorry to shut you up. Wow. I was literally asking you questions and you kept going silent. Like, what is that about? I'm not stupid. Deal with the consequences of being a to everyone. You're a effing moron, mate. You can stay blocked. Thanks. Good night. Now you don't have to leave any calls. F off. Won't ever say I'm sad again. Won't have to. I won't be listening. You just see me as an enemy. Let's leave it here. I don't know you. We barely know each other. Goodbye. What the F happened to you? Have you got a mirror? All I did was say I'm upset. Stop this. No, you should have listened and not shouted and denied in the beginning. Keep me blocked. You said shitty things I don't want to talk about right now. Sorry. Give me space, please. You are single. Like, properly. I'm done. I wanted 10 minutes. What the F? Seriously, this? I can't do it. Question mark? I didn't do anything. Talk to me later if you still care. You're breaking my heart. I wish you would have just spoke to me with no argument. I didn't want it to get this big at all. I didn't want it to be a thing. I got sad my boyfriend raised his voice. Like, it really led to you leaving me? I know I'm blocked. I'm just talking to myself. I'm sorry. Goodbye. I love you. A lot. I love you. You can't even fathom it because I knew. You dumped me, called me stupid, and said I don't deserve better. You're lucky. So lucky. I'm not. I'm so not. Bet. That's clear what you want then. Yes. Maybe a month ago I would carry this on, but like, it's boring the F out of me. It's that hard to say sorry and leave it? There's no compromise to be had. I literally don't care. I said sorry because I don't care. You can't compromise to save your life. I don't want to win. I just want you to shut up, frankly. There's more messages which look like they're from Discord. Didn't accept to it. No. Okay, F off then. Die. You didn't let me talk. Die. Wow. Die. Die. You're just making it up as you go. Yes, I am. All lies. Sorry, Alex. You don't have any grip on this. Sorry I said to leave the game. Good night. Stupid woman. I don't want you. There seems to be an attempt at calling him. Go away. I want to be alone. I don't have the energy. I said what bit? You clearly have. You win. The bit where you told me to KMS, which I'm sure most of you know what that means. The bit where you said you don't want me. The bit where you call me a dumb whore, whatnot. Bit? What bit? Boring. I quit this. You win. There looks like there was another call that only lasted 3 minutes. I said thanks. F off. I said thanks. F yourself. You're a difficult little bitch. bitch. You're a cunt. Maybe next time shut your effing mouth. Thanks for apologizing. No, I'm good. I don't mean it. Wicked. You don't deserve it. Bye. Then it goes back to the other chat. Of course. I love you, idiot. Please, though, give me an easy ride. The easiest. F, I feel dreadful. Are you okay? Dumb question, just thought I'd ask. Sorry. 'Cause of the weather. I don't care about earlier. Still tired. So done. No, it's over. This is nothing. We're over. This is tiny, really. I hate talking to you. No understanding at all. I know you have so much. I'm sorry I shouted at you. You called me a dumb whore. Let's break up. No, I want to break up. I don't love you. Really, Munkus? I want to break up. You don't mean that. I want to be single so I could deal with my stuff alone. I was trying to get this all done before I went out. Everything was fine. Got to points in arguments where he'd poke until I gave a reaction, calling me names until I finally snapped. Whenever I would react, I would be threatened with a breakup. You delusional bitch. F off. I said thanks. I don't know what bit you're saying sorry to, but thanks. You just make it up. Go away, psycho. That happened. Stop being mean. Just stop. You're the craziest woman I've ever met, genuinely. I'd rather just leave it for peace of mind. Be nice, supportive? No, it's cool. So break up? That's your resolution? Yeah, genuinely, with everything going on. Wow. Bye. I changed myself by suppressing my emotions and that I was not upset over previous arguments because he would get angry and tell me to get over it. He would tell me, I said sorry so you would shut up. These were one-sided narcissistic arguments telling me my feelings mean nothing and that they were based on wank. But when he is upset, I get spammed in my messages and 100 insults until I say sorry, no matter who is at fault. He would tell me he can change my life forever, that I need him and that I'm nothing without him and what he does for me. He took anger from his friends out on me, telling me I can do everything I want alone without any of you. And what I will do for you, just take it for granted. I could change your life forever. I don't at all. I don't want you to. I just want you to be in it. You couldn't do that for me. I can do everything I want alone without any of you. And frankly, because you haven't done what I do. I'm sure you could see a pattern that a lot of these messages seem to be cut at different places and they don't fully complete themselves. I'm trying my best reading this though, I'm sorry. It's so easy to sit there like everyone else and cry about it being mean. When you're a jobless freak, imagine trying to teach R words like you and my mates how to do this. It's effing annoying. Okay, I have a job. You don't. I'm contracted. I have a job. No, you don't, man. Work-related arguments would be weekly, nearly daily if I showed signs of me being sad over something he said to me. You should be effing grateful that someone with this expertise I actually have tried to talk to you about something like that. That was him talking about whether I wanted to stream or make YouTube videos. If the conversation didn't go his way or I said I didn't want to do a certain thing, he would blow up and get upset because I wouldn't do it his way. Then he would continue to belittle me. I would always tell him I'm not with him for the work talk. I don't care how much you can help me if all this will do is cause arguments. I don't care how successful I can be. He pushed it on me to take his knowledge and make videos with him when all I wanted is my boyfriend. I only ever wanted something personal and genuine. I never got that. God, you're so set on me being you. You don't even listen. I was just sad about it. My God. F off, Alice. Okay, you should be effing grateful. Why? Someone with the expertise I actually have tried to talk to you about something like that. Wow. I said I was sad. I wasn't insulted. I'm not a streamer. The effing stupid idiots who think they know better than their only man who has actually done it all successfully. I wasn't insulted and I'm not everyone else. I don't know. I'm tired. I got upset hearing about Twitch and I didn't even mention it. And I'm starting to think none of you are worth talking to about anything. Your own girlfriend? Too small-brained. Wow. Go do it on your own. I'm just casually talking. Me too? You're annoying as F. Okay. Gather that. Take it in. Thank you. I'm telling you, I mean it. Yeah, got it. If you cherry pick my words, I was telling you how I've always wanted to do it. I was saying whether I know you or not, like it's a dream of mine. You know what I was effing saying, idiot. Shut the F up, okay? You know what I meant. Good night. So KYS, please. I gotta take a second and talk about how reprehensible it is to read this. You shouldn't be telling anybody to end their lives, which is essentially what KYS means, but especially not a person you're in a relationship with. I don't know what British law is like, but God forbid she decided to act on that after he said that. If it were in the United States, I'm pretty sure he would get in a lot of legal trouble. Saying that shit to anybody is disgusting. Saying it to your girlfriend, disturbing. I'm going anyway, so come with me, I guess. I don't care. You're a shit girlfriend, genuinely bad at it. I meant it in the sense that I'm doing this 100%, no stopping me. Emotional level of an effing brick. Just say yes, you dumb whore. You're thick, man? I don't know if he meant to say you're sick, man, or thick-headed, maybe? I don't know. You're a bad boyfriend calling me a bitch and insulting me every time you get slightly upset. Good night. I know. Changes nothing. I haven't made anything up. Okay. You are being a cunt. I'm sorry. Yes. Adding 2 words in. Yes. Makes no difference. Okay. N-word. Too little, too late. I'm sorry. Always too late. Just answer the effing question straight away. Surely. Yeah, sorry. With a smile or not. Sure. I don't care. Done. There's 3 things I want to point out with the N-word usage. First of all, this conversation took place within the past few months. It's not like this is a 10-year-old conversation and he was a kid when he said this. This is something recent, and this is also something that I'm pretty sure he's one of the channels that advocates against using this word. So in my opinion, it's similar to the creep show art situation when she would use this type of language anonymously on forums while actively advocating against it on her channel at the same exact time. This isn't the only time that he says this. There's also a clip of him saying this. And once again, this isn't like it was a dug up clip from years and years ago where he has grown and changed from it. He's saying this to her behind the scenes while actively running a channel that condemns people for saying stuff like this. At least I'm fairly certain, unless I'm somehow mixing him up with somebody else. You could have listened. I was, and I was sad. I wasn't crying. You could have listened to a genuine master plan for free, but you just can't. Yep, no thank you. I'd rather my boyfriend. Why? My god, man, you're the worst. You actually can't. Like, okay, more insults. Stop. She put dots. Fix up. You dumb bitch. Blocking you. Wow. So you said wicked? Mentally you can't. Bye. You only just said you understood. You're a dumb whore with the literacy of a child. Shut me down. I said wicked. Use your brain. You have permanent attitude, never ending. I'm done talking. Insults more. Calls me a whore. I'm done. Block me. You definitely were giving me a attitude. Yeah, I won't unblock you though, because talking to you is like talking to a brick. If that stops me getting called a dumb whore, yay. Maybe don't be a dumb whore? Bye. That'd be like so much cooler, dumb whore. I do. And you're just moaning. You were rude. I got offended. Rude. You offended me. N-word again. That's just the truth. That's it. Okay. Idiot. Okay. You'd it understand? I think maybe he meant to say you don't understand. And Logan Paul was shit. And we're all but we learned. Yeah. Just hate people making it seem like what I'm doing is actually rude. Like, end yourself. I just told you how to make 6 figures, so F off. It's annoying. I understand. Imagine telling people how to make 6 figures on 3 and it cuts off. He told me you're like everyone else. Stupid effing idiots who think they know better than the only man who has successfully done it all. I said I wanted to stream on Twitch, and he gave me reasons why it wouldn't work and reasons not to. I got sad because I was planning so much, set up my channel, went to him all happy about doing my own thing, and he devalued it and called me small-brained. More texts. I don't think I'm good enough to do it. Sorry, that's just like how it works. I would have said anything else. I'm not sure what he meant by that. I'd be making it up. Like, you don't understand. It's not like a magical road with a million choices or you'd be doing it now, wouldn't you? Then I won't bother. Let's drop it. Yeah. So just let me tell you, there were some messages cut off. You are careless. I would do anything for you. I will. You get to sleep in all day. I don't. I want to get my shit together. I have to get up and do my shit. It would help us too. I know. And me. I know it would. That's no doubt. Alex, you're my human. I would go anywhere and everywhere with you. Even in shit, I wouldn't stop standing by your side. I haven't even heard your voice in a day and I miss you. Like, I'm pretty lost with myself and it no doubt rubs off on us. I really don't mean it to. I struggle even understanding what the point is for me. What do I offer? Why is he with me? I question it all the time and that has clearly rubbed off without me even realizing. And I don't want to do that. I can offer you more. I can do more. If I didn't think I could, then I would have given up or let you go. But I know I can. I know I want to. I know I can't not do it. I canceled everything this weekend because I want to come to you instead. But I know you're working. You have a lot on. But all I want to do right now is be next to you and really tell you I didn't mean for any of this. I can't explain how hard I effing love you. I dyed my hair effing pink if that isn't a cry for help. I know I'm not my best. I know I don't think. I know I need to be better and pick my shit up. I know I need to suck it up and accept not everything is rainbows. Does this mean I can't post this anymore? You mean the world and everything to me. Alex would tell me he meant it when he said these horrible things to me, but he would tell me he didn't mean it after he had calmed down. He told me to shut up and end yourself after I told him it was a dream of mine to expand into other platforms. He has called me the N-word after I said sorry about the situation. I said sorry for telling him my goals and my dreams, and he belittled them all to take control of what I wanted to do. When I got sad, he got angry. You could have listened to a master plan for free, he said. He would tell me to die constantly. He told me he didn't want me and that he could easily replace me. That is like textbook manipulation, by the way. At this point in time, I've broken down to his level. I end up calling him what he is, and I lose all sense of reality. Because how can this be real? This can't be real. He can't mean any of this and still love bomb and stay with me, right? At this point, I'm also scared of starting any argument, so I say sorry excessively. After telling me he isn't mad anymore, he ends up telling me we are over and starting over again. Again, another argument about content creation. He goes, it's easy to sit there like everyone else and cry about it when you're a jobless freak. Imagine trying to teach R words like you and my mates how to do this. I would reply by explaining how he was rude and that I got offended. He goes on to say N-word, that's the truth, end yourself. I just told you how to make 6 figures, so F off. I told him how I don't think I'm good enough to do it, and he would just insult me more. You just got passed up on genuine knowledge to cry. Threaten to break up with me and call me a bitch. Gay. Good progress, wow. Cause you're infuriating, just listen. Imagine. We ended up going on holiday together to Italy in July, and an argument came up about when he was watching a video about a girl being hypersexual after trauma. I opened up to him about my essay and the trauma that I have been through myself. In response to this, he tells me he doesn't want to know what has been done to me by other guys, and I ended up leaving into another room crying. He threatened to leave and get a flight back on his own, taking into account this was only my 3rd time abroad, and he knew that it would make me very upset and scared. Like he knew I needed him there with me. Bringing up weird shit on our first holiday, you ruin every moment. I have no fond memories with you. I spoke about something I went through in the trauma, opening up to him about my experience with SA, and this is how he responded. The screenshot reads, "'Cause you're effing weird. Yep, it's you. Bringing up weird shit on our first holiday, ruin every moment, was you too. I have no fond memories with you, actually none. What's the point in this, saying all of this? What are you getting from it? Just moments when you're not being a huge F, I think he said." It cuts off. Before we continue, I don't know if Alice will ever hear this, but I am so sorry that this was somebody's response to you when you were trying to be vulnerable with them. He ended up canceling coming to see me on my birthday, or forgot it, and went to see Star Wars with his friends instead of seeing me. What a loser. Canceling plans on your girlfriend's birthday to go and see a movie with somebody. I'm sorry, I'm going to try to interject less. We have a lot more to get through. When I told him it was my birthday, he ended up going out after the movie to grab a gift and eventually came to my place at midnight. I spent the whole day waiting for him. He invalidates my feelings after I said I got upset about it. Tried to justify it by hanging out properly before my birthday came. Let's properly hang out today. I'd love to. I can only come over super late on Monday, by the way. How come? Star Wars event at 7. At this time, he was looking to move into a house and I helped him. He assumed I was going to move in with him without asking me beforehand. I was brave enough to tell him I'm scared to move in with you because I know how you treat and insult me, and begged him to stop doing it and that he had to change. I ended up calling him what he is and standing up for myself. No, it isn't pretty. Screenshots from Discord follow. Cancel the date, find your own house, preferably a smaller one away from me. I'm tired of effing life lessons. You ain't got F all real shit on. If you can't apologize, block me. Leave me. I got more important than your feelings. You can't apologize or stop insulting me, go away. Especially when your feelings are based on absolute wank. Tells me enough. Goodbye, Alex. Wank? Are you insulting me? Keep pushing, you lost. Is you insulting me wank? Just accept that you're being a dumb woman and move on and go. How can I actually help you? Wow. Instead of being a burden, be useful. Other screenshots show, all my plans, push my videos back to accommodate you, offer to bring you a headset. Stop moaning, sort your head out. And then you start going on about how you're scared to move. Just die in a fucking hole. With you sad little. Who does this? Will do. You had to reassure me that it'll be okay. Ooh, my feelings. Yeah, I heard you the first 10 times. I hate you. You got mad straight away. Didn't let me talk. Didn't listen to me. Please hurry yourself in the effing garden. Later, we find out that he actually meant bury yourself. You're a child. You were like this when we met. Already, likewise, I will be fine without you. You are nothing without me. That is very, very manipulative language. You sold me a dream, then I saw how much of a loser cunt you were to everyone around you, including me. LMAO, wow, how controlling and toxic and grim. Don't worry. Okay, bye. I'd save a lot of money having to carry you around. You don't need to talk anymore. It's done. Stop moaning. F our anniversary. I got it. We didn't make it. I'll take someone else out next week. You effed it. Wow. But now you can F yourself, to be honest. You have to stop and learn to shut up. Being a cunt to me, F off. Start working, get a hobby, for the love of God. Fighting people in comments is a low-life behavior. He talks to his girlfriend so sweet. He's so domestic, it's adorable. Look at how abusive and cunty he is. Because you had to make it like this. Cause you're a melt. What does that mean? He proceeds to tell me, die in a hole, you sad little cunt, after all I asked was for reassurance. F our anniversary. I'll take someone else out next week. You're nothing without me. I don't want you, lol. I put up with you. Please bury yourself in the effing garden. Die. Just dying a effing hole. You dumb. I called him abusive and then he calls me a melt. I told him I was going to bed, having not had any previous argument, and this started a clash because I said it in a quote bad tone. He goes, I'm going to effing you. I'm going to break your neck. That's on you. I said I'm going to bed. Those words exactly. How'd you say it? You thick. I said I'm going to bed, thanks. Oh, wait, is that an insult? Well, stop pretending to be stupid. Blocked. Looks like my time is done, bye. Because you're insulting me constantly, dumbass. Get a head check. Because you decided to pretend I made it up? What the F? No. Made what up? Oh my god. I admitted what I did. I'm going to effing end you. Said sorry for my tone. That's not abusive at all. I'm going to break your neck. Again, this is over my tone being low because I was previously already sad. I had apologized over a call and it wasn't enough. I can't see what's in the background. It looks like maybe a car, but this text states, I'm very sorry about yesterday and I know I crossed the line when I was angry. It isn't right to do, no matter how mad I am. I'm sorry it went that far. After that argument, the same month is when we moved in with each other. This is when things started to get more real for me and I decided to start noting things down, recording and texting my mom. Hi love, how's things? Miss you. Things are fine then bad, fine then bad. When I say fine, I mean I've not forgiven or feeling better, but I'll move on so he stops complaining and being mad that I'm upset from his actions. I never wanted to leave someone so badly or come home so badly. I can't help holding back tears whenever I think of coming home away from this hellhole. I'm literally on the brink of a breakdown. Whenever I see you and dad, I just want to be home. Alongside that, I can't believe I've been putting up with someone like this with no morals or human emotions, and he scares the out of me. I'll say this or this made me sad, he will argue, and I don't want to live with a guy where I have to suffer in silence or be quiet. That's literally hell. He wants a little minion to love him and need him. He tells me I need him. He is Satan. He needs you to need him? F off, it isn't 1935. And he broke my glasses the last argument for no reason and hid them. Oh my god, that's psycho. He will gaslight until I react. When I do, he will call me crazy like he didn't just scream in my face for an hour. We had the worst arguments I've ever experienced with anyone, but after the move it became even worse. On the 4th day of living together, on the 19th of October, he had taken it to the next level and got physical in a fight. It started as a screaming argument where I begged him to leave me alone and to just stop. I ended up trying to get away from him and he followed me. I went to walk downstairs and he grabbed my hood and pulled me back until I fell on the floor. He told me that I'm not getting away, so I got up and made a run for the bathroom. He gets in my way, grabs me, puts me in a headlock, and covers my mouth because I'm screaming for him to get off of me. I get to the bathroom and locked it behind me, and he screams from the other side, calling me crazy, telling me to leave the house after I've asked him to leave me alone. This is a text message with her dad that states, but to be honest, as soon as it goes to shit again, I'm out and I'm coming home. Makes it easier. I'm not happy with you taking any more shit. You don't have to. You deserve better. Is bear on cat or kitten blank food now? Any blank D. And you're right, I'm not going to take anymore. I just feel weird leaving without saying anything when he's calmed down. I feel a bit stuck right now. You don't know anybody anything, and if he hasn't apologized or groveled, then he shouldn't be surprised. And then a text from her mom states, and it doesn't stop at words. It starts there and gets worse. If he's already pushed you over and put his hands over your mouth, he will punch you eventually. Then he'll which I think she meant to say film, a video to defend himself against it. But do not let it get that far. Get out. Some other days after that argument, he would scream in my face telling me to end myself multiple times in arguments over small things. He would walk away, then come back angry as if he couldn't leave without screaming, having me back down and be silent until I broke down. This evolved to the point where I would be shaking and scared for my life every time he came close or was in the same room as me whilst arguing. He still blamed me for our arguments, and to get back at me, he started with small petty things, like breaking my glasses without me knowing and throwing them away in the trash. He even helped me go look for them, pretending he was innocent until I finally suspected he did indeed throw them away, and he laughed whilst admitting doing so, acting like it wasn't a big deal. I ended up feeling detached from reality because I woke up depressed daily. Some days I didn't want to be near him or be intimate with him, and this would spark arguments as he would get angry at me for still being upset over something he had done a day or a few days before. I was so disgusted by him and his actions towards me, I didn't want him to even be near my own cat, calling him his when he wasn't, and making crappy jokes about taking the cat away from me. This would always just end in me picking up Bear and leaving the room. He ended up being secretive over his phone to what I then discovered was him stalking his ex on all social platforms. It's been years since they broke up, and found her old NSFW pictures he kept of her. He said sorry and that was it. What's wrong? I don't trust you. Weird as shit. What? Why? Why are you being so secretive? Why won't you let me look? Guilty AF. Go away. Look at what? Never was an issue before. Why is it now? On the 28th of December was the day I decided to no longer put up with this behavior. I was getting the house ready for his parents to come over for dinner, as Alex did not clean or prepare anything. He must have thought I was angry at him because as I'm cleaning the kitchen, he was constantly asking me if anything is wrong. I tell him multiple times I'm fine, nothing is wrong, I just want to clean, and he started shouting, getting hysterical, thinking I'm lying and that I'm pissed off. I say very few words due to the fact that I am mentally drained. I had nothing left in me when I had these arguments. I barely said anything. He asked for tasks he could do to help in panic. I tell him to wipe the sides of the kitchen counters, take out the bins, etc., and he starts screaming after I gave him more than one task, telling me he can't handle more than one at a time. So after he overreacts, I start to walk away. On my way out of the kitchen, he kicks me in the back and I turn and say nothing, reminding you as you seem to have forgotten how abusive you are, and I forgave and forgave. Man, stay the F away from me, you psychotic freak. You kicked me. I'm not effing dealing with this. Keep going, it's adding to the report. You started today, you weird freak. Do you think it's effing fair to do what you did earlier? Be honest. You actually think what you did in the kitchen was normal? After yesterday, you pulled the same shit? You kicked me. And I told you not to, woman. You freaked out, not me. Effing answer the question. You're mental trying to convince yourself it wasn't you. Bye. You ever talk about me again? Hardly. Bye. Oh my god. Then effing leave me, you weird. I did. Jesus, idiot. You win. You're so cool. Weird effer. Yep, I do, because I finally left you after all the shit I took. You win. Okay. There's then another text from one of her friends that says, I'll come pick you up and drop you off at your parents' house. At this point, it was the second time he hurt me, and I was so scared I texted my friend to pick me up and I started packing. He follows me around the house screaming random things at me, trying to justify his actions for going too far. I recorded this because I was scared he would hit me again. I say nothing and I am panicking to the point where I am sweating from fear as he's following me, screaming at me, calling me the N-word, and useless, etc. After I left, I later picked up my things after he threatened to throw them outside. A 4K setup. I found everything on the floor and taken apart. The keyboard was smashed and scattered everywhere. He claims the keys had fallen off my keyboard when he was packing it all away. When I got home and plugged everything in, I found the monitor screens were both smashed to bits. The keyboard was broken and the camera too. She then shows photos of her monitors and they are completely destroyed. There is no way you can convince me that's from packing them up. After I ended the relationship, he tried to manipulate me, telling telling me we just need time and that he will change. He begged me to give him a chance to change and make things better. This went on for months. He kept doing this and getting angry when I didn't give back the same energy. Of course I didn't, because I had come to the realization that I was abused, lost, and had no idea what to do at the time. He started doing little things he knew would get my attention in an attempt to spark any conversation, like following exes or people we argued about, girls he slept with and kept pictures of, started trying to get me back into the house, telling me he's put the bins out and asking me to come over for dinner. He ended up arguing with me over situations with me not wanting to give him time or attention. Of course I don't. I left him. He abused me. He couldn't accept this. I end up blocking him, and he finds another social platform to message me on and argue. I blocked him again, so he ended up messaging all of my accounts, including the account that I made for my cat Bear, asking and begging for a phone call so he can quote-unquote move on. After everything he did, he still was thinking about himself and how he could make it better for him. I kept telling him that I didn't want to call or meet him. Some of the text shows, I told the truth of how I feel. I don't care, you did it again. So you just get to ignore me? Leave me alone, you're horrible. Okay, F off, you annoying see? F you. Yeah, bye. Stop effing agitating me. Another screenshot that cropped off halfway through so I can only read, to me, the way you did, I know you don't mean it, but it really puts me down. It's no excuse for how I acted though, and I apologize for that. I just want to spend time with you so I can make stuff better. I do want to make stuff better. Here to apologize again. I'm sorry. Are you up? I'm upset and I miss you. And I want everything to be normal. I will do everything I can to get you back, starting today. What do I do then? Stop being mean. Okay, I'm sorry. Can we call? Just 5 minutes? Apology, then I'll go. Okay, I'll stop texting you and give you peace. I've effed this. Good morning. Have a good day. I miss you. A lot. Go on, go on. Let me cook though. The house is all clean. I just put the bins out. And then he puts a sweating emoji. That isn't hot. That's basic living, kid. What seems to be either sent by a different social media account or on a different social media platform. Bye. And say goodbye properly. What I assume he says, I can't move on unless we call, to be honest. LOL, why? So you can call me everything under the sun? Sure, bud. I can completely cut you off if we call, but I will struggle if we don't. That's gonna suck for you. I don't want to fight. I want to end it. Then what seems from a different account, again, or a different platform, since it says ImAllexx business chat, he sent a 36-second voice note and she quotes, we're even. Okay, let me take a second here, please, if I can. Like, I abused you like you did me. I don't mean it like that. Imagine. Why say it if you don't mean it? No, seriously, I didn't. Yep. Bye. I meant even as in don't talk anymore because we're both so hurt. You didn't wrong me like I did you. I know that. It's so effing serious what you put me through. You know that, right? I know you know how messed up this can be for you because you know you did so much wrong. God, I know more than anything. You know you're sick and you're saying I did the same. But I thought I would have a chance at talking to you and saying sorry. And I really don't want to have that taken away. Thanks for the sorry. I don't forgive you. I don't want to beg for you back. I want to call and say sorry. I think he meant I'm not asking you to forgive me. I don't owe you that time. I just wanted to apologize to you like real people who were together for nearly a year. And you didn't. You just kept on doing it. It's so hard for me to have just cut off like completely. And it got worse until it actually got domestic and serious and you were saying we are even. I got worse because I'm self-destructive. We're even? And every time we didn't call, I got worse. Eventually he tells me I deserve better and gets all sorry for himself after he realizes I'm actually not coming back. He sends me apologies and owns up to everything he's ever done to me in voice notes and videos, crying while still begging me for a phone call so we can talk or move on. I don't and won't ever want to give him that. After I explained to him how he was abusive, he claimed that I was abusive too to try and spark a reaction, as afterwards he said, quote, I'm joking and I didn't mean it like that. You didn't wrong me like I did you. I know that. He continuously begged me to call him so he can apologize and wanted me to forgive him. He ended up sending things to my house like teddy bears and flowers, his hoodie that had been sprayed heavily with his aftershave, and a letter to try and achieve this. He mentions, I wish you had broken up to my face. I did, when I walked out the door with my things after he kicked me. He then contacts her on another form of social media, and this picture is just nightmare fuel. Alice, talk to me. On another form of social media, there's another screenshot. If there's a chance I can spend every day trying to make it up to you, then I wanted to take it and show you I'm serious. But these are the last messages. If you do decide to contact me, I'll be here. There will be no more contact from me. The letter speaks for itself, and I'm not going to make you be in something you don't want to be in. I don't want you to make it up to me. You know you don't mean this. You carried on for months and it got worse and worse. You're doing whatever works in your favor right now. I was wrong the way I handled it, but I understand. I let you down, but I don't want to lose you forever. I want to come over and talk. In my heart, I want to run to you right now. I was scared of everything originally, and I'm not anymore. I just want to do right by you. I've got one last thing to deliver to you today that was left behind. What is it? Your onesie, and something I should have done long ago. I'll have to hand deliver it, and I already booked a taxi. You won't see me, and I'll leave straight away. Then there was an unsent message. I'm on my way and got the taxi to take me straight back. It's there. I've gone now. I apologize for my handwriting. More screenshots show I can stop caring. I don't know if he meant can't. Then this stops happening. I stop fighting for you. I can let go. I want to be over you because the other option is hell. Maybe you can just suck it up for all the abuse you gave me. Stalk me like you stalked your ex. I don't know. And I don't deny it. I'm going now. Stalk my ex? Man, you did that. Don't deny it now, bro. Leave it. So we ended on a big argument. Unreal. I just want to scream. We ended with you kicking me. I can't believe we can't effing talk. It's mental. I can't do this. I think that's what he was trying to write. We ended with you kicking me. Bye. Man, seriously, I can't believe you won't just let this go. Let it go? Let it go? She then leaves him a lengthy message. Yeah, no, sorry, I can't do this. I can't keep feeling sorry for you and letting you message me. It makes you feel like this is normal and that you can wait for me. You can't. There is no waiting for me. There is no us anymore. You destroyed it. You're gonna ask, why do you care about things I do then, Alice? Well, it's because you're the one making all this effort to contact me. F up, then apologize, so I call you out on things you do that actually prove your statements wrong, so I call you out. I don't forgive you for abusing me. I don't think I ever will. I don't want you to contact me somewhere else after this multiple times. I've blocked you on maybe 8 things now, and you need to take that as a very obvious sign that I don't want to be near you. I've struggled cutting contact with you out of my own fear and damaged mindset that you've created. Even just thinking about calling you or getting anywhere near you again or being fine again with you or getting back with you scares the living shit out of me, and that's what you've done to me. You can make excuses, say it was my fault, I made you do it, but we all know that's invalid. It's taken me so much courage to actually finally say this to you, but I don't know, maybe don't domestically abuse someone next time. I don't know. I don't know what you expect from me. Don't try and beg, etc. It's all fake. It's all out of fear because you're scared of everything I have on you like everyone else in your life. And I keep falling for it. I fall for your lies and manipulation even when we aren't together anymore. Moral of the story, you're an abuser and I want you to please leave me alone so I can actually heal from this. I've given you 1,000 chances to not call me disgusting names and gaslight me and start arguments over nothing, even after I left you. You've damaged my mental health too far to explain, and I don't want to keep in contact with an abuser. This is unfixable. It never was fixable. You abused me. Wake up. If you continue to contact me anywhere else, I will need to take this further. Thank you. He then sent her a nearly 30-minute voice note followed up by a 12-minute voice note. I believe that part of this voice note is one of the clips that she has uploaded to this giant Google Doc. I'm not going to play the full thing, especially in this video, but I will be sharing some highlights from that. I'm gonna be honest with you, I just scrolled through random spots within this 25-minute audio clip and just picked random points to play for you because the entire thing is just as bad as what you're about to hear. If you want to hear the full thing, somebody did re-upload this entire audio clip to YouTube. I will link that in the description below because too many people at once were trying to download her clips from the Google document, so I think that made it hard for everyone to access it. So this is a good re-upload in case you didn't hear it.
You know, I know you appreciated it, and I know that you appreciated the effort that I used to put in, and then I just stopped because I had you, and you're my girlfriend, and we lived together, and the more further we got through our relationship, the less effort I put in. I didn't listen to you. You were right. It's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. I was impossible to work with. I didn't make it easy. I constantly thought inwards about myself and not about you and what was going on. I didn't make any attempts to change. I didn't make any attempts to fix my life. I made excuses
So at this point, we all know that this apology isn't really for Alice, right? This apology is for him. He wants closure. Has anybody watched BoJack Horseman? And there's that scene when BoJack is apologizing to Herb, and he's just not having it. He's saying, I don't forgive you. You're not getting closure. You don't get that. You have to live with the shitty thing you've done for the rest of your life. I know this is a serious subject, but this is honestly what it reminds me of. It's a pretty powerful message, and one that I think definitely applies to this. I know when it comes to YouTubers or public figures, whenever a scandal happens, an apology is almost always expected. When it comes to situations that happen in people's personal relationships, though, especially a situation like this, even though Alex is a public figure, this was an intimate relationship that he had with an individual who he has affected severely. Sometimes there are things that an apology cannot fix. This, unfortunately, seems like one of them. She has even said this in the messages that she has exchanged between Alex. If you were genuinely remorseful, which I personally don't believe you are at this current point in time from everything we have seen publicly so far, but if you were, you would respect the fact that she wants nothing to do with you and you would leave her alone. You would not try to contact her. You would not try to improve yourself just for the expectation that one day she'll come back to you. You have to leave her be and let her move on with her life and cease communication with you. That's what needs to be done in this situation if you genuinely are sorry, because that's what Alice wants. She doesn't want you constantly contacting her. She's afraid of you. Also, I'm not trying to speak for her. She's literally stated this in the messages that we have been going over this entire video. She stated this herself. If you were sorry, you would respect her boundaries instead of constantly sending her messages over and over and over again and sending her 30-minute long voice notes.
And for the first week that you weren't here, I just spent the entire week doing nothing. And after that week, I realised just kind of like how fucked up my life was, and I have made attempts to try and fix it. I have a schedule, I take out the bins, I look after the cats. You know, I'm like a functioning person. I go out for my bike ride. I've been sorting out my doctor's appointment, even though it's bloody hard in the middle of nowhere.
I don't know why I find this absolutely absurd that he's listing off the most mundane things as if it's such a hard day's worth of work. And before anybody says it, I completely understand that there are certain situations that can make a person feel completely paralyzed, for lack of a better term, or in other words, unable to do everyday tasks. And that can range from things like mental illness to having something traumatic happen to just having a roadblock or being burnt out even can make you feel like that. It's completely understandable. But the thing here is that there have been multiple statements throughout this entire Google document of her saying that he's not helping her with things. She talks about him not helping her clean the kitchen and freaking out when she gives him a task or two to do when he asks her what he can do to help. Later on, when he's trying to contact her again, he tries to impress her by saying, I've taken out the bins, to try and get her to come back over because he cleaned the whole house up, as if that were the problem. And now he's listing all this stuff up like, see, I've changed, I'm doing all of these responsible things, while still making it sound like they are such a burden to him. In other words, to sum up my thoughts on this comes across as extremely guilt-trippy and manipulative, in my opinion, with everything we currently know about the situation that has been released publicly. This seems like, oh my gosh, I'm trying so hard to do everything I can to get you back. When again, she doesn't want that, bro. If you're actually sorry, you'll respect her boundaries and leave her alone like she asked you to. It really is as simple as not picking up the phone and trying to contact her. The last clip that I'm taking from this call, again, if you want to listen to the full thing, I'll link a re-upload in the description below, is him crying towards the end of this 25-minute voice memo and him discussing his regrets regarding the way that he treated Alice and their cat Bear. We didn't get to the cat part. That's at the very end of this document, but I think it's important to remember this part of the call for the end of that document.
And when we got Bear, or you got Bear, sorry, still doing it, you know, just how happy I was for you, because I thought it would help you heal, but I was right there just making stuff worse. I made them, you know, even your relationship with the cat, like, I was upsetting you. And because I was being selfish and being like, why doesn't she, you know, I was like, why doesn't she want to share the cat with me? And it's because of the way that I was acting. And I knew that, by the way, it's not me, I didn't just figure that out. Like, I knew that back then. I was like, oh, of course she's going to take the cat away from me. I'm being a Why would she want a cat near me? She doesn't want the cat to be attached to me because she probably wants to leave. And I felt that at the time, and instead of doing anything about it, I just moped and sulked like a child.
Again, very important to keep this in mind towards the end of this video when we go over the last bits of this document, because the way he reacts to her not being comfortable with him being around their cat contrasts so much with what he just said here. I also understand that crying isn't really acceptable, nor is saying I love you. I should have left that out. It takes away from what's important, which is how I treated you. I didn't want to not reach out and apologize though. I didn't take responsibility for how I treated you, and I felt that wasn't right. I'm sorry for however I took everything. Hey, can we talk about this? Did you hear everything? I'm so sorry, Alice. Shall I stop, or are you writing? Talk about what? There's nothing to talk about. There's a lot. No, there isn't. I said my piece, you said yours. What happens now? What do you think? I don't know. I wanted to try and make it right by you. I made a lot of excuses. I didn't realize how one-sided I was being. What do you mean by this? Replying to what do you think? Is there no way I can work through this with you? Does that not make everything more understandable or different? I feel so conflicted about a lot of stuff. I'm sorry that I didn't apologize properly before. He said something else, but it was cut off. I'm too close. Why? Because I ruined it. I really was blind to so much. I relied on crutches and I became what you wanted to avoid. And you did give me chances and I wanted more from you. I wanted you to not just come back, but tell me everything was a big misunderstanding. I actually have PTSD from you. Yeah, I know how my actions have affected you. That's the thing. I know that you can't call me because of me. If I look at you, talk about you, think about you, my heart pounds out of my chest. I'm sorry for swamping you here. Yeah, it's the same for me. Is it though? I'm gonna say no, it's not, because he's probably taking that as, oh, my heart is pounding like butterflies, when no, she's explaining symptoms of PTSD, but obviously for different reasons. Yeah, he was totally meaning like, oh, my heart pounds when I think about you because I got the butterflies and I'm really just, I want to love bomb you so you come back into me and I can continue controlling you. She says, I don't think you can compare this. Yeah, sorry. A little bit more was cut off, and every day I argued with you, I pushed it back because I was so desperate for this to be easy. I didn't want to work for it because I believed if you love someone, it would just be that simple. But you did love me, and I was making it impossible for you. And I have. I still am now. I can't go back and change it. He responds to, my heart pounds out of my chest too. I wish I could fix it. I wanted to put it right. I was so flawed about how I was doing it. A little more's cut off, and it's killing me inside. He sent some more voice notes, and then he says, I told you I loved you, and then I would get so angry. Other stuff that is pointless now. I was scoring points in my head. I was frustrated when we called because I was faking it, and I thought for couples to fix something, they would just first pretend it was fine, then talk about it later. We should never have played, is what I think it says. He sent more voice notes and some clips, and then more text state, I wasn't. I was hurting you, insulting you, and then blaming you. I was terrible, and then I blamed it on my own issues. I am so sorry. I convinced myself we'd both fix each other, but I was just making out problems worse, and I couldn't have stopped it, but I was in a selfish mindset. Yesterday was a low point for me, and I still just don't know how to feel, and I'm sorry I messaged you during it all. I don't want you to feel like you have to fix my problems. I know it's complicated, and I don't hold it against you. I hurt you, and you responded, and I understand. I know you have other stuff going on. He sent another 12-minute voice note. I never gave you time till it was too late, begging for calls after the fact. I wish I hadn't ignored how you're feeling about many things until it got too big. I'm sorry for letting you down. The pain I feel is immeasurable, and it must not compare to what you have gone through. I'm sorry for how selfish I've been. I told myself I was doing it for you, but I was wrong, and it was a terrible excuse to treat you that way. The more I ran from this arguing, the heavier it got. I'm sorry I didn't stop months ago. The pain you carry weighs on me a lot, and I should never have put this off, avoiding it all because I didn't know how, and it's cut off from there. More texts show, I had to stop you somehow. She says goodbye, because you don't talk to me. I told you to calm down. You put hands on me because I was screaming, maybe stop doing what you were doing. So I just said don't do it. F off. That's all I said. Bye. Effing excuses to do that, asshole. That's not what I said. What the F? The next screenshot shows a Amazon gift receipt that has another message written onto it. I am deeply sorry for upsetting you and letting you down constantly. I hope one day you can forgive me and we can talk. But remember, he's not looking looking for forgiveness. Words hold no weight for you. And instead of actually sitting down, I just sat on it and overthought it. Yeah, I've had this conversation with my mom recently. Good. I'm ashamed, Alice. You aren't here because I didn't get help. A little bit more was cut off. I felt like it was the right thing to do. If you're upset, what would you post? I used to be abusive to my girlfriend, so she reacted and started to hate me because of it? Crazy. I'm not going to post. That's why I'm messaging you. Okay, and what do you want? I was hoping we could leave each other alone because enough has happened, and I really regret it. He then sends her a handwritten note. I'm wondering if this was what he also dropped off when he dropped off the onesie. The handwritten note states, "Dear Alice, I am so sorry for not fixing my behavior before, and I understand this might be too late or too little. I hurt you deeply, and I will spend forever trying to make that up to you. I'm sorry for blaming you for how I acted. I didn't take responsibility for how toxic I had become. I should have never made excuses for shouting, insulting, and pulling you. I regret our last night more than anything in the world. I'm writing this because I want to show you how much I regret and how ashamed I am of hurting you. You are my world, and every day without you has been eye-opening to how you must have felt. I'm not looking for forgiveness. I will spend every day trying to earn your trust. I am writing this on the chance that I can work to be able to have that chance. I would do anything to win you back. You are right, and I'm sorry. I didn't listen. You are the love of my life, and I will never forgive myself for hurting you. I will spend every day working towards fixing what I've broke. I promise to never downplay or ignore you ever again. I took time to reflect on everything, and I'm making steps to put myself right." There are then notepad notes written, and I'm wondering if these were things she had written down in the moment that they were said, but it says, "You're a huge F-up, whore, cunt, freak, weirdo, slimy, slag, unlovable, I don't love you anymore, stupid, everything I do will amount to nothing, you're on a never-ending ego trip, breaks up with me, blocks me constantly, called me a dog to his mom, tells me to shut up in front of his mates." I want to mention here that there are quite a few other creators who have recently come out and spoken out against ImAllexx, and they seemed to be unaware of this happening according to what they've said. So I'm not sure what friends he had told her to shut up in front of. I just want to point that out here because I don't want people to take this and make assumptions that it's this creator or this creator or this creator. We really have no idea who he might have told her to shut up in front of, or if these friends were even creators at all. I got more important shit than your feelings, especially when your feelings are based on absolute wank, that you are being a dumb woman and move on instead of being a burden, goes to bed sleeping knowing I'm sad, saying he can't be arsed, he's tired and he's tired, excusing his words and insults, saying I can't take it, feeling no remorse for the insults he says to me, told me to myself again, said he would break my neck and end me. He said you can't live without me. 19th October 2023, day 4 since moving in together. The first time he's gotten physical with me, I walked away for space. For 1 minute, he grabbed my hood and pulled me back onto the floor. He put me in a headlock and covered my mouth twice when arguing, calling me delusional, crazy, tells me I need to leave when I've shut myself in a room, and telling him I need space after this all. Will dig and dig and dig at me for hours until I break finally. I raise my voice and he looks at me, pauses, and calls me crazy, a psycho, after pushing for a reaction, gaslighting and manipulating asshole. 28th of December, argued and kicked me as I walked away. I moved out after that day. Reactive abuse. During an argument, he broke my glasses and was silent about it until the following days. I asked him to help me look for my glasses, and he would not help. He would sit on the couch on his phone. I turned around to him and said, wouldn't it be funny if you broke them and hid them from me? And suddenly he started smiling and told me that he did break them and he had hid them from me. Days after, okay, there is one little thing here that I want to point out. Earlier in this document, she said that he did look around and help and acted like he was helping her, but now she's saying that he refused to, unless there was a typo. That's the only thing I can think of that would make this make more sense. That is just something I noticed and something I wanted to point out. I'm not saying that she is lying about it. I'm just saying that those were worded differently, both instances. But again, there could be a miscommunication or a typo there. There's so much more I could talk about, but I really don't want to relive it any longer. This was an awful, toxic relationship. I should have left 2 months in knowing and finding out what kind of person he actually is. But that's what happens when a narcissist meets an empath. They feed off of it. I had communicated my best, made him aware of what made me uncomfortable, and it wasn't listened to. In no way am I trying to make myself look as if I've never said anything mean. I went through months of this horrible treatment that words like these became the normal for when arguments came about. Words held no weight towards the end. I stooped down to his his level and became reckless with my language to try and prove a point of, this is how you treat me, so have it back. I was pushed to the point to react, and I'm so sad it got to that toxic point. But the extent this went with him saying threats and physical acts was too far. This consisted of a lot of reactive abuse, and I lost myself. I understood he has his own mental health struggles, but it would and will never excuse the amount of trauma he put me through. He went into this with many issues and already projected them all onto me. He knows and admits to this. I also want to mention I know my mouth isn't clean. I swear for England in every sentence I speak, so I definitely gave it back at times when I got tired and pushed over the edge. It feels it's necessary to add that. You can only take so much of someone belittling you and telling you they don't love you and that they hate you the whole time you're together when you're meant to be in love. It tears you apart and changes you. Since all of this has happened and the public have speculated on their own from my vent posts and interactions, which I want to tell you is a cry for help, not attention, I've had threats of story manipulation from Alex, so I wanted to clear all of these up before he gets the chance to try and victimize himself and disregard everything he's done to me. I'm not afraid to own up to anything I've done because I've only ever reacted after the abuse was drilled into me. Go away then. I hadn't messaged you in weeks. Keep it that way. But this stuff recently doesn't seem like it's going to end, and I feel like I'm being backed into a corner. For something you did? Oh no. I was hoping I could settle our issues personally. The people spreading this are the people who already hate you. That's fine, I'm not bothered about them. And reopening this, I saw your notebook posts. This was pointless. And read what you said in our messages. Yes, my standards are low, huh? And I thought we could talk about it. Look, I let you down more than anything ever. Like I don't have the words to express my sorrow without typing a Shakespeare poem. It seems a little cut off, no matter what's happened. Okay, we have the right to a private life. I don't want to talk about you. Then go private. It seems like he's really trying to keep her silent publicly, in my opinion, viewing these messages. Venting to your friends I understand, but this makes this whole situation harder for both of us and takes it to an unneeded place. So you're silencing me and asking me not to say anything or confirm anything? Is that what you're saying? Be straight. I insulted you and I shouldn't have kicked you. Trying to pull you towards me in an argument was wrong. You keep saying this like I abused you. No, I have actually never said you abused me. I mean, good, that would be huge BS. I said it was toxic, but I understood why it had gotten there, and I heavily regretted it. It was toxic because of you, because of the abuse you gave. Words, feelings, actions, everything you did was vile to me. And after the way I texted you was wrong. I know you want to talk to me about what I did, and I was fine with that when it was between us. I don't. I wanted to call you and talk about it all. I didn't. Yes, anyway. Anyway, go away. How can this get any more out of hand? If you keep posting this stuff, it will end up being a huge problem. For you, because it's true for you. Don't you want to move on for us? There is no us. Alice, right now you are really trying to make me say something that you will use to hurt me with. I don't want to talk about you hitting me, and I found the texts about the cat. Because I didn't, and you'd be lying. When you said you punched me, I didn't punch you over a cat. LOL, is this you saying that you're gonna use that? Because do it. Then I'll post you calling me N-words and abusing me. With witnesses. No, I'm not, but right now you are pushing against me. Why? I never punched you over a cat. A little more was cut off. Because you won't stop. I've stayed dead silent and it isn't enough. This is your argument. If I speak out about how horrible you are and abusive you were to me, you're gonna say I hit you over a cat. That's your defense? For abusing me for 8 months? Make it make sense. You didn't get to hit me at all. The point I'm making is we both hated it. Hated this. At this point, he's trying to use the situation with that cat and manipulate the story. I can show what really happened here. Another screenshot provided states, you didn't tell him what to do, you just said don't talk to the cat. I'm 24. You say weird shit. I don't want to live with someone who's saying I can't talk to the cat. Weird shit. Be normal, say you love it or something. Oh my god, you're actually doubling down. Look at you. Yeah, see, I'm not gonna lie. I told him to stop saying weird things to the cat. He was joking about taking him away and why I wouldn't let somebody who told me they'd break my cat's neck near my cat. This was an argument around mine, so there's no texts. He then goes on to say that I have punched him in the face over a cat. This is Delulu Island we're on now because he's trying to grab onto anything he can to create his own story. This didn't happen and I couldn't tell you where he cooked this up from. This is from an argument where he was being horrible, had the cat in his arms, and came up to me making jokes about taking him away. Alex was in my face, all over me doing this, so I pushed him off of me. I mentioned to him that I don't find this funny, and he carries on. I have the threat messages and the real messages at the time of the event he is trying to manipulate. So in this document, she shows the same screenshots that we had just gone over. There is no us. Alice, right now you are really trying to make me say something that you will use to hurt me with, and talking about the cat. Her saying this is your argument. If I speak out about how horrible you are and abusive you were to me, you're gonna say I hit you over a cat. That's your defense. But then there's another screenshot that states, so for it to all be for nothing, it's hard. I'd rather work and sit on the sofa with you all day and the cat and be peaceful. I feel like everything is collapsing. So when we wake up and everything's been good, you dodge my kiss. It's hard. It really ruins my whole day. And take the cat off me like it's hard, because we don't need to do that to each other. More messages state, I didn't do anything but buy you ice cream. You blew up, kicked me out over the cat. She says, F off, mental case. How can we live together if you're gonna start arguments over the cat? You did that. No, I didn't. Literally, you got mad, not me. I just made a joke. You got mad. You must effing go. You have to effing go. I said don't say weird like he's gonna be taken away, idiot. We cannot live together. F off with this, my god. I'll get my own cat. Never said you can't talk to it. You're infuriating. Bye. You effing pushed me. It was an effing joke. Off of me. Off me. And you're doubling down. That's you. I'm doing what you told me to do, idiot. Look, I'm completely in my right to say that I don't want to be with someone who's going to harass me over the cat. I'd rather not be in that situation. I don't harass you. Yes, you do. I got you off of me because it's weird. When? I said I don't find it funny. Well, if just talking to the cat is weird, then you have to leave my house. This is ridiculous. There are so many cases where I end up taking Bear into another room, saying that taking the cat off of him is starting an argument when I only did that after he said weird things to him. Acts like a child had his toy taken away when realistically I was uncomfortable with him being near my cat after saying what he does. These texts are also after the first time he has dragged me in an argument, so I'm very much unapologetic in everything I say and toxic back. You can see how things get worse and worse, and I stop caring about my words because I'm constantly drained daily hearing this abuse in person. It took a toll on me and my mental health. The last story he will manipulate is from September in his old flat. We were in a heated argument screaming at each other where he was in my face belittling me for everything I do and have ever done, calling me horrible names. Every insult you can think of came out of his mouth to me. Whore, slag, nobody. I started crying and he looks at me with a straight face and sighs, calls me boring and laughs. I end up defending myself. I slapped him in the face. This is out of character for me, but he was screaming in my face abuse. I was backed into a corner not knowing what to do. This happens, then I grab my things and leave the flat and call my friend to tell them everything that just happened. Alex spams me to come back and I end up giving in and going back because I'm scared. Hate this, and hurting each other more isn't going to make it right. You hate this because it's true, and people are seeing you for you. And you said you slapped me yesterday? I was dreadful. Yes, I slapped your face one time. Name a girl who hasn't slapped a huge asshole. I know I was, and I'm ashamed of everything. But coming for my life and my family, that's your defense? My girlfriend slapped me after I abused her? The last thing said in this document states, for legal and obvious reasons, I won't attach all the evidence I have, but in due time it may be made public. He has tried to get me to stay quiet online and has suggested he would deny all of this. If this happens, I will release more undeniable evidence. Now, as I've mentioned in the beginning of this video, there have been quite a few clips that have been uploaded to this Google document of Alex being just reprehensible towards Alice. And this is pretty much irrefutable. There are clips of him with the camera on screaming at her. This one is by far the worst one out of all of them, in my opinion.
I don't know what to call what you did. It was weird. It's always weird. You always take the weird route. Just do the normal route, which is just do the normal route, but a normal girlfriend.
Yeah, acting like this is all just me, and that's something you really need to fix.
I'm gonna bash your head against the wall with a brick if you don't shut the up. Because this one, genuinely, this one, you this royally this.
He gets so angry and then threatens to hit her with a brick. To me, this sounds like a genuine threat considering how he's treated her previously and him actually, allegedly, I guess, even though he's admitted to kicking her in the back, being physical with her. It's one thing to have arguments with your partner here and there, but this is very obviously not normal. There has been mention prior to all of this coming out that she supposedly took this information to the police. I hope they can do something for her. Even if it's getting a restraining order, I hope that something can be done to keep her safe and away from this guy. There are several other clips, a few that I've shown throughout this video. My two favorite clips are when he tries to come across as so profound, like he's this YouTube genius, and he's not only talking down to her, but his friends who do YouTube.
I think I may have said like 100 times, to the point where it's actually really hard to follow what I'm saying because it's so flexible. I've gone, you could do this, but you might be able to do that, but you might be able to do that, and you might be able to do this, and this might work, but you might be able to do that. And it sounds mental. I don't even understand how you could possibly actually follow along to it. Like most of my friends struggle to actually understand what I'm saying. But that's why I'm a professional and you're all not.
Alex, I'm gonna need you to sit down for this one. It might be a hard pill to swallow, but you're a YouTuber. Okay? You're a commentary YouTuber who uses Mr. Beast style editing for your YouTube videos. And I'm just going to go out on a whim with this one, a silly little guess. Considering the volume of content that he would pump out in such a short amount of time, with long videos that are heavily edited on multiple channels, I'm going to assume that you had some sort of a team helping you create these videos, and that you weren't the only person doing this all by yourself. Or at least one or two people. There's no way that you are the only one working on this content, pumping this much out in such a short span of time. Which is fine, by the way. A lot of creators are actually in that same boat where they have a team of people helping them with editing and thumbnails and script writing. Eventually, I even want to try and hire an editor or two just so I can make more content faster. I get it. It's totally fine. But please don't act like you're some mastermind. Please don't act like you're some genius that just thought of this yourself and that you're better than everybody.
And you think you can just ignore them because, like, well, what's the worst that can happen? I don't know. Your boyfriend's a fucking famous internet celebrity and doesn't trust these people because he has to keep his circle small.
Listen, I get having 2 million subscribers, or I guess less than that now, is still a lot of subscribers. I'm not going to sit here and say that you've never run into a subscriber or a fan or anything like that. But the way that you're talking about yourself makes you sound like you're some sort of celebrity that everybody should know. I guarantee you, if I called some of my friends right now, and I would if it wasn't 3 o'clock in the morning, and asked them, hey, have you ever heard of ImAllexx? Not a single one would be like, oh yeah, he's that really famous British commentary YouTuber. You're a YouTuber. You're not an A-list celebrity.
Because you might not have anything to lose, because your life might be down the fucking drain, but I still have quite a lot that I would like to fucking give. I fucking hate all of you. You guys are fucking like I can't make any videos of Paul Breach.
I will be linking a Twitter thread below that also has those re-uploaded because, again, it's been hard for people to access the Google document and download the clips to see for themselves because of how many people are trying to do it all at once. So this is the next best thing. The other clip, which I've shown a very small snippet of him saying the N-word, was actually a portion of a longer video of him following her around the house and yelling at her non-stop. There's one more part of that I want to share here.
But your face is annoying to look at, like when I come downstairs. Like, I'm actually fed up of looking at you, which is why I sleep downstairs, because I don't want to have to go upstairs and, oh, you're taking all the covers. It's like, woman, just like, ask me to buy another one, or stop complaining. Like, nothing, the thing is, it annoys me, nothing needs to be an argument, because everything is fixable. Buy a new duvet, I sleep downstairs. But no, you've always got to act like none of this stuff, because you don't actually try and fix any of your problems.
What gets me here is the audacity that this guy has, because number one, does he even see what his girlfriend looks like? She is so pretty. Why are you saying that her face looks annoying? Especially when you look like Scott Malkinson from South Park.
What's so bad about hanging out with me? Shut up, Scott Malkinson.
There's one more thing I want to go over before we move on to the next two documents, which are significantly shorter than what I just read. And I know I said that I would only be sticking to the documents that were shared about ImAllexx. This is the one exception because this just made me so mad when I saw it. There was this clip that a lot of people have been bringing up over the past few days of Alex and Alice in a previous video before they had broken up. And in this clip, Alice said he was a gremlin.
Do you ever look at me and go, God, he's so pretty, he looks like me? What do you say then?
No, like gremlin.
I like a gremlin. All right, thank you. Yes, but you'll probably have to speak up to because the camera won't because
Alex is a gremlin.
Okay, you don't need to do that. You don't need to tell the whole world. Got anything else you want to say? Oh, nice. You're great to make content with.
Later on in this video, though, I haven't seen anybody mention this. They're talking about a TikToker, and at the end of this video, they're talking about the dress that she's wearing. I'm just gonna let you listen to what is said.
It's a nice dress. Do you wear that?
No,
What would you wear?
I don't like gold.
You wear something black. Emo freak.
Black and sparkly, yeah.
Oh,
Or red.
are you hinting?
Or silver.
Okay. Got any other requests?
No, actually, I like the gold.
Oh, okay.
It's not fitted, it's not nice.
And what price range would you be looking
It's
for?
just like completely rectangle.
What if it cost me if it cost me a tenner, would you be happy with that?
Honestly, anything looks good on me.
They're gonna hate you for saying that. How long are you joking?
I'm poor.
Oh my god, you're the worst.
He tries so hard to shoot down her confidence. He does not like that she is confident in herself. He does not like that she knows that she would look good in any dress. He doesn't like that. He wants her to feel belittled and beneath him. So what does he say? Oh, you better take that back. They're gonna hate you for saying that. And then he starts saying this.
You're the fucking worst. You're the worst person on the planet. I should be bullying you. I do bully you. Instead of these people. Right, you can go now. You've served your purpose. Well, that's today's episode of Daily TikTok stuff.
You could see the look on her face drop. And sure, after this at the end they show cute videos of their new cat. It doesn't take away from how off-putting this one clip is. As we get to the end of this video, I want to go over 2 more Google documents really quick. They're not nearly as long as the 82-page document we had gone over earlier in this video, and I keep mistaking. One of these is actually just a Twitter thread, not a document, but the first one we're going to look at is a Google document posted by somebody named King Ani. I hope I'm saying that name right. I want to acknowledge the fact that a lot of people in the comments of this tweet were pointing out that this person was supportive of ImAllexx during the Slazo situation, and allegedly helped perpetuate those false accusations. One tweet that was constantly being brought back up was a tweet she made in 2019 stating, "Innocent people don't stay quiet for this long," and this was allegedly about Slazo. But with that being said, that doesn't necessarily mean that she is lying about Alex in this thread. You can take whatever she's saying with a grain of salt. I will say that compared to Alice's Google document, both of these other posts do not have nearly as much evidence. However, the second post that we'll get into involves a post that was made in 2020 about it. That does not mean that they are lying. It just means that these are accusations at this point. Take this however you will. I still think it's important to add in here because this now means that there are at least 3 people who have spoken out against him. My experience with ImAllexx. Though we've never confirmed it to public because I personally like keeping my relationships private, I dated Alex from June of 2017 till March of 2018. It was the most toxic relationship I've ever been in, and I was lucky to get out of it when I did. When we were dating, though he was from England and I lived in America, we were pretty much never apart for longer than a week. We stayed in Europe for a couple of months, then went to America for 6 months. He couldn't stay 6 months straight due to visa implications, so he stayed 3 months, flew back to England for a few days, then came back to America for another 3 months. After this 6 months was over, and he couldn't come back to America again for a while due to visa requirements, we spent some time away from each other. And during that time, with help of my friends, I came to the realization that I was in the worst and most toxic relationship I had ever been in, and I had to get out. It started out great, as they always do, the honeymoon phase as they call it, but as time went on, things just got worse and worse. I was fortunate to get out when I did, but reading all the new information that's come out, he's clearly gotten worse. During the relationship, he made me feel insane, like I wasn't myself anymore. It never felt like he listened to me. I always felt belittled and inferior. Whenever we recorded videos together, he would constantly talk over me and never let me have my moment. Most of the time when I had problems, he always somehow made it about himself or talked about his own issues. He would get stressed over his YouTube channel constantly and complain about uploading, as if it was the hardest job on the planet and no one had it harder than him. His classic line was, "I can't catch an effing break." If we ever had a disagreement, he would also sometimes allude to the possibility of ending his life over minor conflicts as a threat, so I couldn't continue with the conversation. If that's true, threatening to end your life to win an argument or to get control over a person, that is one of the lowest things that you could do. It was nearly impossible to give him any kind of criticism because it was like adding to the pile of minor issues that he had already blown far out of proportion in his head. Another thing he did was spin his own narrative and twist words. He didn't just do this in the relationship, but he did it in his work and with his friends. It was the main reason why many people stopped talking to him, because we started to realize that when there was even the smallest amount of drama and he heard about it, he would make sure to involve himself, even if the subject had absolutely nothing to do with him, and he would just make everything so much worse. For example, the Slazo situation. Though it was never said in the original statements by Shay, he somehow came to the conclusion that it was and everyone else got the blame for saying his words. Somehow the situation went from being guilty of being a bad boyfriend to all of a sudden he's a rapist. This was the final nail in the coffin, and I cut all contact with him after that. People are mad at you that you apparently didn't apologize to Slazo, though. I mean, maybe you should if you didn't already. During our relationship, I bought him and I matching Alex and Ani bracelets for Valentine's Day because I was like, oh neat, a company with both of our names. You can see him pressing the heart on the bracelet to his lips in his Back to Nothing video, which he has since taken down from his channel. She shared an archived link.
Punished for ever wanting to do more, ever thinking that I could, ever believing in myself, you know.
This video was released in response to me breaking up with him. He uploaded this video after I stopped talking to him as a way of trying to guilt me into replying to him. He did to me what he has done in his relationship with Alice, where he would fly off the handle and get mad, then act all apologetic and sad to try to get me to feel sorry for him and forgive everything he said and done. Lastly, the only time he ever laid a finger on me was when he grabbed me as I was trying to run away from a conflict. We were trying to record a YouTube video together, and he was getting frustrated at having to restart the recording multiple times. He started shouting and beating his fist on the table, even going as far as to break his microphone. I was scared, so I got up to leave the room, which is when he grabbed my arm to physically stop me. I remember saying, "You grabbed my arm," several times in shock, as if to say, who the F would ever grab someone like that? Once again, I was fortunate that that was the only time something like that had ever happened. I got out before it got even worse, as it clearly has with new information that's come out. It saddens me that it's all come this far. I wished Alice the best privately, and it breaks my heart to have seen all the things she had gone through. I hope Alice's story and my story go to show you what he was really like behind the scenes. If you're in an abusive relationship, please get out now. You can't fix them. Another Twitter post was made by a person named Jess Carter. This is my experience with Alex. From November 2018 to February 2020, I was in an on and off relationship with Alex. As everyone else seems to experience, the first few months up to a year were as you'd expect with a brand new relationship. I can't speak much now, as 4 years later I have suppressed these memories and don't tend to think back on that time. I had made a statement in 2020 for my own personal closure and didn't expect it to go anywhere but just exist. I really wanted to reach out to someone, but I knew I didn't have the evidence because I deleted our messages to try to get over the breakup. I've included my original statement alongside a Facebook message between Alex and my friend during an insomnia event where he thought I wasn't in our hotel room. He left to go see Slazo before the accusations, and I had woken up to banging at the door to said friend showing me this message and saying Alex was looking for me. I was in bed next to him, he just hadn't bothered to look. When confronted, he laughed about it and I told him to never say that about me again. While I'm thankful I'm now in a position where my current partner has helped me heal through the damage Alex caused, my heart breaks for Alice having gone through so much and still dealing with the consequences. She deserves nothing but peace and happiness here on out. Nothing she has done will justify his actions towards her. Next, a text message is provided from April of 2019, and I assume this is from that night. Yo, where's Jess? For f***'s sake. I am very angry at a bar. I am going to kick her head in. I might kill her. Might actually her. Along with this tweet that she had just made, she had shared her old thread from 2020. Trigger warning, mental, emotional abuse, depression, and now the year's coming to an end, I want to get something off my mind and have at least a little bit of closure. Specific names won't be mentioned, but most can assume anyway. Whoever is currently in a relationship where your partner is heavily one-sided, guilt trips you, or puts you down, please get out. I know it's hard to think of wanting to leave, but I can assure you it's for the best. The start of my last relationship was everything I had wanted at the time. I was already living my best life, so things were only improving. The guy was super lovey and sweet to me, always cared and went the extra mile, but something changed not long into the relationship. It was like he was keeping things away from me, which is obvious you'd tell your partner. I mean, I would have in that situation. There came a time his ex came back into the picture, and like anyone, I felt a horrible gut feeling. When they met up, she ended up going to his flat and went out clubbing with him and some mates, all which I had to find out through social media. I'd already made it apparent it made me uncomfortable them two being together, but his response when I wasn't happy was, I didn't think it was a big deal, or I have to be friends with her for work. Anything I'd say was met with an excuse. No, sorry, I'll tell you next time, or anything. So I just had to push how I felt aside and watch them on calls every night and talk all the time. Shortly afterwards, he broke up with me as he was planning on moving elsewhere, and he said the last 6 months were the worst of his life and how nothing good has happened. I was devastated and spent countless nights crying myself to sleep because at the time I genuinely loved this this guy and I'd do anything for him, and it hurt a lot that I couldn't make him happy. I made one tweet during this breakup that I saw a good-looking guy in the gym and he flips out at me saying I'm a liar for telling him I'd wait for him and would only like him and he doesn't ever want to be with me again. I broke down at work crying on the phone to him, trying to apologize and say how genuine I was when I said I'd happily wait for him. All I did was make a tweet about someone being attractive. Eventually he agreed to let me come and see him, and we started back up again as he said he was sorry for getting angry because he just missed me. He never moved in the end, so I'm glad I had to experience those awful nights wondering why I wasn't good enough anymore for no reason. One night he went out and left his laptop with me. I looked through some messages and he was a lot closer with his ex than he let on. He would tell her his problems, but to me he wouldn't want to drag me down or get me involved. He also messaged a girl complimenting her ass, but me tweeting someone was attractive was the end of the world? I never mentioned this to him because I knew it would just cause an argument. I could never win with him. As time went on, anything that bothered me, I'd tell him, and I'd just be met with a load of messages that started with I'm too busy, I don't have time for this, I'm not happy, I got other things to worry about, and the list goes on. He would always get angry at me saying my feelings. Looking at him, he's not a scary person, but BTS, he scared me when he was angry. At this point, my feelings pretty much felt invalid, and I knew I couldn't go to him about anything. I still did though. Whenever he upset me, I'd tell him, and was met with the same response. Countless times he'd create the reverse situation and play the victim, which is when I'd stop being upset and feel sympathy for him. I was always there for him with advice and help, but he was never there for me. One time he told me that he was feeling really down, so I drove 3 hours in the middle of the night to see him. Yet when I told him I was down, I got met with something like, I'm working. For my 22nd, I spent the majority of my birthday alone watching TWD as he sat in bed all day, but I couldn't be upset at that because his excuse was being depressed. I picked out flowers as a present from him, and he bought me some Jaffa cakes, which I later got told they were meant for both of us. I'm not one to compare gifts, as I love to give, but I took this guy to a 5-star hotel for his 21st, and he couldn't even organize something nice for us to do on mine. There's situations where he's been pure evil, telling me he hates my friends. During an argument about how I felt uncomfortable being sat next to a male Uber driver who was himself at times and kept staring at me, and my friends were simply saying that they wouldn't let me sit in the front, period. He sat in the back just so he could talk to his friend, and I became invisible. He blamed me for not telling him sooner. However, if he had paid attention to me as a person, he would know I have social anxiety and find confrontation, especially that kind, really difficult to deal with. He told me he hates fat people, then went on quote-unquote jokingly to call me fat when he knew I wasn't happy about my weight. I feel lucky that my depression doesn't get in the way of making others feel happy. No matter how bad I get, I can always make sure others are okay. Now, I know not everyone has that same mindset. He struggled with his own mental health issues. He broke up with me on Valentine's Day this year after I sent him a text saying it doesn't feel like he appreciates me or loves me anymore, and which he blames me for breaking up with him, which I didn't. He gave me excuses on why he couldn't do this anymore. Again, I'm too busy, I'm working, etc. I even booked time off just to spend it with him, told him the dates, and never bothered to arrange to see each other. Again, too busy for me. But he told me he wasn't going to go out for drinks with a friend. However, that translates to just going to ASDA. So he had to go at me saying I don't allow him to go shopping with his mate. What triggered the message was him saying he was going out for drinks after saying he has no time for me. The fact that I had to see his own friends with their girlfriends and seeing them make time for one another hurt like hell. His excuse for that was they do that because they aren't as passionate about their job as he is, so they waste their time. He never came to me to see me because that took away too many days where he could have been working instead. This made me feel like I didn't deserve his time or was even worth his time. Going on from V-Day, I was obviously upset it was over, but I was able to manage it pretty easily at first. I'd try to talk to him, but he'd rarely respond. It wasn't until COVID hit that my own mental health crumbled more, and I had to watch people die every day in April. This is when I really needed him to be around, not that he ever was anyway. It got to the point where I sat in my car on the verge of ending my life when I needed to speak to someone. I called him, and in the end he turned his phone off and didn't answer because he couldn't be bothered to talk to me for days after I was having a breakdown every day and just wanted to talk to him. I still struggle to understand why he broke up with me, as the only thing he changed in his life was getting rid of me. He didn't get rid of anyone else. Apparently getting rid of me was supposed to make his life better. either, yet his friends were the ones who got under his skin, and they're still around to this day. Eventually, he blocked my number. I would see him on social media talking to everyone and anyone. An extra for this one, he told me off for telling my friends how he made me feel as if they didn't need to know. He doesn't tell his mates, so why should I? Couldn't go to him, not allowed to speak to friends either. Calling random girls he's never talked about before, and when I pointed out that he can talk to them but not me, he kicked off saying that it's basically me trying to tell him he can't have friends. Oh my god. I cannot stand when people do that. I'm just saying that generally. This, again, is still accusations. All I wanted to know was why I wasn't allowed the time of the day, but this other new girl was. He'd be more than happy to talk to her about her mental state, but not mine. Anything I would bring up after the breakup, I was yet again met with, I'm depressed, I'm busy, I can't do what I want, I don't need this. For someone who would constantly remind me he had depression and used it against me, he never once took my mental state into consideration. I could have gone to a certain person about this situation, but he threatened me saying if I went to said person, I'd have no chance of ever being with him again. Well, now I don't want to ever be with you anymore. I don't see why people can't know now. The only leverage he had has now gone. This guy made me feel completely worthless, self-conscious, and gave me such a lack of trust in people that it's taken me back how much my current partner is understanding and willing to help me overcome my depression. He's literally having to deal with the damage my ex caused. There's so much to it that I could go on for page after page, but these are the main points that stick out for me right now. No doubt if he catches wind of this, I'll get accused of lying, or he'll shout at me like he used to. I told him he was mentally abusive, and he said, don't go throwing that around. I'd like to have full closure in our relationship, but I know he will never admit to how selfish and cruel he was, so this is all I can do. I have a lot of friends who have seen texts and heard voice notes from him, and don't worry, they don't like you either and will back this. I literally can't give Andy enough credit. I tell him something bothers me, he'll work on it or won't do it again. I cried into him one night and he went back to work 10 minutes late. I had a bad day and he sent me flowers. This guy doesn't feel real. So to wrap these up again, these last two documents are accusations. Compared to Alice's statement, you know, there's not a lot of evidence, but I mean, that doesn't mean that they're lying. It just means to keep an open mind with all of the information that came out and people coming out with similar stories. That does hold weight. The one thing I will say though, with this one in particular, is that text message of Alex allegedly saying, I'm going to kick her head in and I might actually her. If this is true, then that is very foreshadowing to Alice's claims in her document, and this entire situation is just rancid. This is where I'm going to end today's video. I know it was a lot of reading and a lot of recapping and a lot of going over some really horrific stuff. And as I've mentioned earlier on in this video, I normally don't cover topics like this so early on due to how quickly information can develop. But again, I just wanted to cover that Google document, and when information does more than likely develop on this situation, I would like to compile that into a different video to give you all of the details while using this video as a reference to look back on. With that being said, of course, we do have to wait and see if Alex will respond to this, what he will have to say to all of these accusations. But with video footage, I can't imagine him being 100% innocent in this situation. And personally, I think that he's very scummy for the things that were shown in those videos. Thank you so much if you've made it all the way to the end of this video. Thank you so much to anybody who has provided me a super thanks, and thank you so much to everybody supporting me over on Patreon. One last thing I'm going to be leaving at the end of this video, as I've done with the previous few videos I've uploaded. If you would like to support somebody in Palestine right now, I have been shouting out Dr. Muhammad Al-Tala. I have found his campaign through Operation Olive Branch, which I will also link below, their Instagram and their website. His GoFundMe is donation protected, and it is to help support his medical mission, which is helping a lot of people, not just himself, in Palestine. Again, I will be leaving his GoFundMe in the description below, as well as his Instagram and the Instagram and website to Operation Olive Branch. Once again, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video, and I'll see you later.